All right, good. I'll start with injuries. Junior Luke, we think that they will be in training next week, and potentially Mateus Bogussau as well. That's German. Obviously, Stewart is a little bit still months away, but working really hard. And then the big question mark is Patrick Bamford. We think he's doing well and moving forward. I think also with the performances of the team, it allows us to be patient, but we will still have a call to make for exactly what it means for this weekend. But we want to put him in the best position possible to physically be ready to pick up where he left off. Okay?
Hi, Jesse.
Hi.
It's been a great start to the season so far. Another big crowd at Ellen Road last night. How important is it to feed off that positivity and to maintain this unbeaten run for as long as possible? And just looking ahead to the game this weekend, great win against Chelsea, but in some ways, given the way Brighton have started the season, could this be an even tougher test?
Yeah, I would say obviously there's momentum, but we've talked a lot internally that one is that we're only starting our process of becoming the team that we really want to become, and there's still a lot of work to do. And two, there's nothing that keeps you more honest than what this league is and what football and this sport in this country is. You can't, if you take 1 second to think that you've achieved anything, then the next opponent can come and just clean you up. So we really respect Brighton. They've obviously had a great season last year. They've made some good additions. They have a wonderful manager, and they've had a really good start to the season. So we know that our focus and attention exactly to this challenge will be the most important thing.
We're a week away from transfer deadline day. There's been a lot of talk about bringing a forward in during this transfer window. How likely is that? And if you don't get a player in, are you comfortable with the squad that you've got?
Striker, yes. I think how likely it is, it's dependent on a lot of others, kind of how things play out and what availabilities are of players. And we certainly don't have a surplus of big amounts of money to go out to spend and bring in, a huge transfer. But I think we've done a good job of evaluating players that we are of high interest to us. And then we're waiting to see and having good communication with different clubs and agents and players to see if there might be flexibility in what their contracts are and what their situations are, that we can still add a quality piece to what we're doing.
Luis Sinisterra, we saw him for the first time from the start at Ellen Road last night.
Yeah.
How big an impact do you think he can make this season? And
huge.
Did he give you something to think about last night with that performance in terms of your team selection this weekend?
No, he didn't. I mean, we knew we already had a fantastic player, and it's not been so easy for our fans and all of your media to see him up close, but we see him every day. And I was not surprised at all that he was the man of the match. I mean, he played a big part in all 3 goals. And we think very, very highly of him. And he is driven to continue to adapt and grow within our system and within our environment. And will it be this weekend? Let's see how he gets out of the 60 minutes. I think the 60 minutes were incredibly important and valuable for him. And let's see where he's at physically. But I think for sure he becomes bigger and bigger an option to have a bigger and bigger role within what we're doing here with our team. So, also, I always think the most important thing is that the players are proving themselves internally, that the other players see how good you are and how important you can become to the team. And Luis has done that in a big way. So, I think we need to just monitor him physically, but then be ready that regardless, we'll be ready to use him in a big role this weekend.
Did Liam Cooper come through okay last night?
Yeah, also that was very important for us. The idea was 30 to 45, and at 30 minutes he looked really strong. So we went with 45. He feels great. He'll be ready for this weekend, and then again trying to figure out exactly what his role will be.
Thank you.
Yep.
Mateus Click also very impressive last night.
Yeah.
Just how important a player is he for your squad going forwards?
No, I'm really happy with Clicky. He's had to accept a different role. He and I have had really good conversations. I think the air is totally clear, and he's committed in every way to try to help in any way that he can. And I think he's had good performances from the bench, and then last night I think for 90 minutes to get a good 90 minutes under him. He also played against Norwich with the 21s, and he was very good in that match as well. So I think he will continue to be a big factor for us, and then how we rotate things, when we use him, how we use him. I think he's excited about the role and is taking it on as a really important role and a big challenge, and he'll be ready when we need him.
Inevitably, he's probably got one eye on the World Cup going forwards, and because of that, we'll be desperate to get as many minutes as possible. Are you able to offer him those minutes that he needs? You know, would there be any suggestion that he might look for a move where he could guarantee first-team football week in, week out?
I think he's very committed to being here. I think he feels like the role that he and I have discussed is enough for him to continue to push to make the World Cup team for Poland. And if he plays like that, I think every time he's stepped on the field for us now in the last matches, he's played really well. So I think that Poland will look at that very favorably, and Mateusz thinks that as well.
A little bit more reaction from last night. It was a really big opportunity for a lot of players to show you what they can do, to impress you. Who particularly did that for you last night?
I think in one way or another, they all passed the test in a good way. The challenge I said to him immediately after the Chelsea game and immediately before the Barnsley game was, can we be as clear with our tactics and our mentality and our performance as we were with the Chelsea match? And yeah, there's little things in there that could be better, but I think for the most part, we went through the match today. We heard from a lot of the guys on how they thought it went, what they thought was important in the match. I think there was a lot of really good comments and intelligence with the way that the group processed exactly what the game was, and we'll use it to continue to feed them with confidence and understanding and help them continue to grow and be more and more an option for important moments in the season. But last night was also a very important moment for our club and for our team, and I thought all of them were ready to go and played quite well.
For the younger players, particularly a huge opportunity for them. Some really shone, some maybe will come away and think, I didn't do quite as well as I could have done. Is that where the man management is particularly important? You know, they feel that pressure that they want to impress.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do that sometimes.
Well, listen, in this business, it's not, if you're not getting so many playing minutes, then it's hard to really show your development. And they need to play in order to make mistakes, to show improvement, and then we'll look at the video, we'll talk about things, and we'll find ways to help them improve. And I take that role very seriously. I mean, I haven't really announced it, but Cameron Toshak is our now individual coach. And so, we've invested a lot in trying to be very clear with every player and to get their input and investment as to what they think they need to do to improve, and then do it within the model of how we're trying to play football. And I think what we've seen is full engagement from every player. And that gives them the chance to, I think, be the best versions of themselves and continue to improve. And ultimately, that's what will help the team, is if every player is fully engaged, is improving, is giving everything they have to the group, and then we'll see more and more quality moments for every player.
Quick reaction to the draw last night. Wolves away in the next round. What was your reaction to that? Terrible.
Terrible, but mostly because we know Wolves is a really good team, and then it won't be easy. But we've tried to build a squad that has more depth, so that we can be ready for every challenge. So that will obviously be a big challenge for us in the what I think is the third round, right? They call it the third round. So yeah, not what we wanted, but whatever. We'll be ready to go.
And with 7 all Premier League ties, should you get past Wolves, 7 other Premier League sides are going to go.
Yeah.
It's a real opportunity to progress in the cup this time.
No, it's true. And you see some big matchups in there where it won't be easy for some big teams. So, but we'll be totally focused on ours. I know it'll require total concentration.